So you've binged. You ate a whole host of food and you're not sure what to do. You're feeling scared. You're feeling mad at yourself. You're feeling angry, anxiety maybe. Whatever it is that you're feeling, I want you to know that it's okay and it's normal for those who experience binge eating either occasionally or on a regular basis. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my top tips as to what you can do the day after a binge, because this is often a time when we feel the most vulnerable and the most like we need to overcompensate for the food that we ate. A lot of people, especially in the community of people who struggle with disordered eating, eating disorders, body dysmorphia, so on and so forth, they'll do things like over-exercise, try to restrictive eat that day, which I have a whole other video on why restrictive eating is bad and why it doesn't help you to achieve your weight loss goals, and I'll link that video up above and down below for you to check after. It's incredibly insightful, but for the sake of this video, I want to ease your mind. I want to help anybody out there who experienced a binge or maybe does on a regular basis and they don't know what to do when they're feeling these negative emotions the day after. So let's get into it. Hey friends, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning into this video. Share it with anybody who needs it. And if you're a new viewer, make sure you press that subscribe button and come join this body loving community, because here's where you're going to learn how to love your body from beginning to end, step by step. And here's where we come to have conversations that matter. So we discuss a lot of harder topics, and if those things interest you, then please join this growing community of people. We're gonna reach millions and I need your help to do it. I struggled with bulimia for 6 years. It wasn't until after my recovery, or throughout the journey of my recovery, that I started studying psychology and addictive behaviors and why our brains are wired the way that they are and how eating disorders affect our mind. And though everybody who's tuning into this video may not struggle in that way that I did, through the grace of God and all the knowledge that I've learned, or whatever you want to call it, I was able to recover. And I was able to go on and teach the lessons that I've learned and that I wish I would have known earlier on when I was struggling. And so I don't want this to be taken in replace of medical advice. I don't want this to be taken lightly if this is something that you are struggling with, or you think that you're struggling with and you might need alternative help and somebody to help guide you through this hard time. But I am going to give you some of the things that worked for me, and I hope that they too can guide you to a holistic approach to listening to your body in the future, and hopefully getting this under control so that you can go on to not have a fear of food anymore, or whatever it is you may be struggling with. So I want to start by defining what binge eating is. And it's the act of eating a large quantity of food in a short period of time. Now, binge eating and overeating are different. And oftentimes, a lot of people who struggle with binge eating associate it with things like feeling like they are no longer in control of the actions that they are doing. Like something has taken over them and just ate all of this food. It's often accompanied by a feeling of shame or guilt or anxiety, or again, all of these negative emotions after. And this can kind of leave you down a spiral into feeling like you again need to overcompensate for the decisions that you've made, even though you felt like you weren't in control in that moment. There's a lot more on binge eating that I could talk about in another video if this is of interest to you. If it is, leave me a like and drop a comment down below so I know what you guys are interested in. But I will leave some resources down below if you want more information on this. But the first thing I want to give you is a couple of tips as to what you can do right after the binge. Not the day after, but immediately following the binge. Because the chances are, if you're watching this, you're feeling guilty either right after or the day after. And so this is really going to help you navigate this situation, especially during this time as it is the holiday season now. The first thing I want you to remember is to not act impulsively. What I want to encourage you to do is separate your logical brain from your emotional brain. Our emotions are running high. Our emotions are telling us all kinds of crazy things at this time. They're probably talking down on us. And there's a lot of work that potentially needs to be done there that can be done in a whole other video and in a whole other way. But if we can separate what logically makes sense from what our emotions are telling us, we might be able to take a step back and not act irrationally based on how we're feeling. It's better to just sit there and think and journal or contemplate what's going on, as opposed to immediately acting and trying to compensate for the action. The next thing I want you to do is to switch to a neutral body talk. Instead of beating yourself up saying, I hate my body, I can't believe I do this, my body sucks, my body's too big, my body, whatever the negative word is, switch to a neutral body talk, right? So this is what I do when I find that my negative self-talk around my body seems to creep in, because it still does at times, right? It does for the all of us, and say things like, I have a body. Yep, that's a body, just like it was yesterday. I have a good body. My body knows what to do with this food. And remind yourself of that. And the last thing that you can do immediately after is journal. I always talk about this thing called a flow state, which is essentially when you're feeling all these negative emotions you don't want to feel, you want to redirect your energy into something that's more positive and productive. I know, easier said than done, right? But when you channel your energy into something else and get over that initial hump of it being hard and it being, it's not working, this is stupid. Once you get over that and you just keep pushing through, you enter a flow state. When your energy is so channeled into that one thing, the outside noise stops mattering and you're honed in for a while and you're not thinking of all these toxic thoughts. And if you are, journal them on a piece of paper. So let's get into what you can do the day after a binge, what you've all been waiting for. But real quick, if you have been enjoying this video so far and you've gotten anything at all valuable that you can take and you can apply to your life or share with somebody who needs it, I want you to take a moment and like this video so we can spread these positive messages to those who need it. So the day after, you might be feeling shame, guilt, and you might feel like you don't want to eat. You might want to get into this cycle of, or at least try to restrict the calories that you eat so you can even out your calorie intake. I don't want you to do this. This falls into the whole binge restrict mentality where you're underfeeding and then you're ravenously hungry and then you're overfeeding again. I promise this isn't the way to achieve the health goals that you want, and it's certainly not the way to help your mindset, or it's not good for your mental health. So again, I'll link that video down below for you to check out after, and that's where we're going to dive into ghrelin and leptin and the hormones that are in place that are causing you to be hungry and causing you to be satiated. So keep that in mind. Don't listen to that voice that's telling you not to eat. If you're hungry, eat. And this leads me into my next point, which is to try to get in nutrition where you can. Try to squeeze in nutritious foods or a nutritious meal where you can. Especially if it's a holiday binge, and I'm saying that because the holidays are near. The chances are a lot of the things that you're going to be eating are not going to be the most nutritious and mineral dense things that you're eating. And typically when you are somebody who struggles with binge eating, then you're not going to be binge eating on broccoli, right? So a lot of the reason our bodies still get hungry, even if we've eaten things, is because we're not giving it the nutrition and the minerals that it needs. So these more processed foods that we're eating digest a lot faster in our bodies, and we're still left craving what our body wants, which is the stuff that's going to nourish our cells. So if you can squeeze in nutritionally dense foods where you can, this is going to help you in your recovery process from your binge, and it's going to help nourish your cells. The last tip I have for you today is to try to refrain from weighing yourself or body checking. I know it can be incredibly hard, but I really want to encourage you to try and separate, again, how you feel from how you look. I know that's a little bit different, but we can feel great and then look at ourselves in the mirror and then immediately feel ugly after. Just as we can feel gross, but depending on your relationship with your body, you can look in the mirror and think you look fine, right? So let's focus on what we feel and what we can do to make ourselves feel better, right? The journaling, the mental work, and then the eating nutritious foods and the drinking water and things of that nature, because it's going to make us feel good. So I want to know, which one of these tips do you think you can apply to your life if you feel like you can use this in the future, or you're looking to use it right now? Which one stuck out to you and which one makes the most sense to you? A lot of these things very much are simple and they're things that we know, but we often push it to the back burner when we have a whole slew of emotions coming our way. So I would love to know what stuck out to you. Let me know down below. I'd love to connect with you and help you through this time. My laptop's about to die, so I can't stay on this much longer, but I'm going to link below a free holiday guide for you that you can download, and it's going to help guide you through the holidays. And it accompanies my Loving Your Body Through the Holiday Seasons workshop that I did. It's now live on YouTube. I'll link that up above and down below so you can watch it. It's a 1 hour free training that's going to equip you with the tools that you need to head into this holiday season with the tools that you need to minimize the fear around food and nurture positive body image. And with that being said, I love you guys. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel. All right.